another session of Packaging Live video series of 15 minutes with an expert. Our expert today represents a household name in the wellness and healthcare sector, the Himalaya Drug Company. A good product is enhanced by its packaging as it's the first touch for its consumer. Sharing his thoughts today is the person responsible for driving the global packaging development strategy for the company. Prior to this, he was driving the global feedstock strategy and tea packaging portfolio at Unilever also, based out of Singapore and Dubai. Let's welcome Gagandeep. Hi Gagan, welcome on the show.
Thank you so much, Pratik, to have me here. I'm so glad to interact with you again. And it's a pleasure for me to really interact and give my views on this topic. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Gaganji. So we'll start the discussion today by knowing more about your packaging journey, both through the Unilever and the Himalaya systems. So if you can share us your journey and brief us about how this has been.
Okay, it's been a very exciting journey, and I joined the then Hindustan Lever Limited in 1994 in the personal care division. I was managing the packaging portfolio for the personal care division of the company. That time, personal care division used to be a very small part of Hindustan Lever, and detergents was the so-called monster of the company. So they were those very exciting times because that is the time when the entire middle class exploded in the country, and there was a huge explosion in the personal care segment. And we used to sort of launch every 2 products every month. It was that kind of a mantra, and the markets were growing at a phenomenal rate. The personal care business of the company was growing at about 30%, and therefore it was very exciting time. So I've seen the entire growth journey of that exciting personal care division. Subsequently, of course, I managed the entire packaging team for Unilever based out of Mumbai. And I had a team of about 70 people who were involved in design and deploy of the entire packaging portfolio for the company. Post that, I moved into a procurement role in Singapore, where I was driving the rigid packaging strategy for the entire Unilever for a certain part of the world. And then subsequently, like I said, I was driving the packaging feedstock and tea packaging portfolio globally for the company, based initially out of Singapore and then out of Dubai. So that time we set up the whole organization for driving the packaging feedstock strategy. And that is all the feedstocks that go into the final packaging. It was a new kind of an initiative by the company. I started giving shape to that agenda because that constitutes a very big part of the packaging portfolio for any company. And 2016 is when I left Unilever and joined Himalaya. Of course, Himalaya, as you know, was earlier a pharma company which ventured into FMCG. And now, of course, FMCG has become a bigger part of the business. The good thing is, as you see today, there's so much of focus on natural products that it is in a very sweet spot, and it has diversified into various segments of FMCG, right from baby care to personal care to wellness to, animal health care. So it covers a very wide gamut of categories. And it also has expanded very significantly globally. So one of the big challenges has been, it's a truly local brand which has become global. So that whole concept of vocal for local, it really applies to this company. It's a truly homegrown brand which has become truly global. They're present in around 100 countries. And the best part is that, there is a lot of focus now on trying to see how we can further expand in other geographies. So the whole demands of packaging in different parts of the world is very different. And that is the bigger challenge, because in the US, if you see, the focus is very much on sustainability. There's a lot of focus on innovation in Southeast Asia. So you need to be able to meet the consumer expectations in a very varied geography. And that becomes a very big challenge, because if you want to really expand and make a presence in those markets, you really need to be able to understand those markets and be able to really drive fundamental innovations in those particular markets. So that has been to me the biggest challenge in Himalaya. And that journey is going to become even more exciting going forward, because that is going to be the real focus for the company moving forward.
Thank you so much for sharing such an enriching journey, Gaganji. And I'm sure with your experience, both from an international brand as well as now, it's in fact a proud moment to see an Indian brand going global. So definitely your experience will take the Himalaya Group to new heights, definitely. Moving ahead, Gaganji, we understand today that the consumer demands are being heard more and more, and brands like Himalaya and other leading brands are focusing more on the sustainability part of the packaging, and it's been the core initiative that you have also undertaken. So can you share your role as a brand lead in terms of the packaging perspective that you look into? What kind of sustainability issues come up, and how does the brand react to it?
See, sustainability now has to become an integral part of the business strategy. Like I mentioned in my previous talk also, it is now no longer, something which, is good to do. It is imperative for every organization to have sustainability embedded in the way they work. So similarly, Himalaya has a very well drawn out roadmap in terms of what we want to do, how we want to ensure that we move in a certain direction. All the material selection that we do, we have a very clear roadmap in terms of how do we eliminate certain kind of materials, how do we really get more recycled material back into our packaging. And of course, there is a very strong focus also on looking at how we can make our single-use plastic more biodegradable. So there is a full gamut of activities we are driving, which is going to, which is integral part of our sustainability journey. And this is something which we are driving very aggressively as part of our entire brand innovation.
Definitely, Gaganji, sustainability is a necessity, and I'm sure all efforts have accelerated in these times of the post-COVID era. How do you see the current scenario? Does it give the brand a lot of new opportunities? Do you reach out to new markets, especially in the healthcare sector? And how does the brand see the future trends in terms of the new markets as well as the new product developments happening at Himalaya?
So certainly, this whole new environment that we are seeing has completely changed the dynamics of the market. And every brand is now thinking in terms of what they need to do to really make the best of the new opportunities. Now, as you know, that health and hygiene are two sectors that are at the forefront of what consumers want today. So there's a huge amount of focus on health and also a big focus on hygiene. So most companies are now diverting their attention into these areas, which they believe are going to be the future growth drivers. Yeah, so there is a complete rethinking of the innovation strategy and the marketing strategy. And there's, of course, a rejig of the entire innovation portfolio to make sure that you are able to focus on areas that are going to give you the biggest returns. So that is number one. Number two, there is also a very strong change in the dynamics of the retail dynamics. I think there is a big change in the consumer behavior and the retail dynamics. So consumers are, moving more and more to trusted brands. So if you can build that kind of a brand trust, and that can be done through, driving some very specific initiatives where you are able to have a stronger engagement with the brand, with the consumer. And that is something which, you have to do through your packaging. You need to make sure that the packaging communicates much stronger views on what the product stands for, how you are building the whole sustainability credentials into your packaging, and also how you are able to engage much strongly with the consumer in terms of, providing them more information about the brand itself. That is number one. Number two is, of course, the e-commerce channel is seeing a very, very big big growth in these times. So there are two major changes that we have seen, which are happening at a very fast rate. One is the kind of acceleration we have seen in e-commerce is unprecedented. There's a growth of more than 300 to 400% over the last 6 months, which is, completely unprecedented in the past. The second thing is, of course, the mom and pop stores are again becoming important, because, consumers are not visiting the malls, they are not visiting the modern trade, and therefore they're relying more on the mom and pop stores, which used to be a dwindling, a category, and suddenly they've become extremely important. So the brands need to also make sure that the offerings are suitable for these channels, and therefore they are adapting their offerings to such a manner that they become accessible to the e-commerce as well as the mom and pop stores. And therefore, besides looking at their innovation strategy, they also need to look at their channel strategy. So that is a very big change that is happening. Of course, the brands that really understand this change and are able to adapt themselves faster are the ones that are going to win in this new normal. And the other thing, of course, which is happening is that the whole way of working with the ecosystem partners has changed, because you can't travel. Yeah, you still need to be able to launch new products. So you need to coordinate very closely with your suppliers. You need to coordinate very closely with the factories. You need to coordinate very closely with the supply chain teams and ensure that you are still able to manage seamlessly the new product launches and the new initiatives without being able to actually physically travel. So it has evolved a new way of working in terms of driving a more digital strategy for ensuring that you are still able to manage your product supplies. Yeah, so these are some of the fundamental changes that are happening, and the faster we do that, the easier it is for an organization to be able to succeed in this new normal. And some of these trends are likely to remain even after the COVID situation improves. You still might see a lot of these trends which become the new normal actually going forward. Yeah.
Wonderful to hear that the kind of changing market dynamics that we are seeing with the current times. I'm sure, as they always say, that change is kind of permanent, and innovation has been on the core of a lot of the brands which kind of connect, especially with packaging being the first touch for any consumer. So that experience has to keep constantly being kind of embedded in the minds of the consumers by the brands. So it's definitely a challenging time, but I am sure, as you said, the brands that kind of innovate and adapt to the change as quickly are the ones who are gonna be on the forefront. Gaganji, moving forward, how do you see the B2B event sector, especially for events in the packaging sector, which have been the point of innovation or the point of the latest technologies being displayed? We are not able to do any exhibitions at the moment, but how do you see the future trend of exhibitions, especially in the B2B sector, and the webinars like that are coming up, especially serving the industry sector in this pandemic times?
See, basically, you're right. I mean, this is a sector which has certainly been impacted a lot. And, of course, while the virtual world can do a lot of things, it is never going to be a replacement for a physical world. Yeah, it is, because the purpose of these seminars and these conferences and exhibitions was not only to look at new innovations and drive new thinking, but also it was a very strong opportunity for people to network, and that to me is one of the key requirements of these kind of events. Having said that, we just can't escape from the fact that people are not able to travel, and therefore the virtual events have become more powerful. They will become more powerful, so we need to find innovative ways of still being able to engage very strongly through these virtual events, find ways of having a much better experience on the virtual world. And there are ways of organizing it in which you can still get a very good sense of what's happening, what are the latest trends that are happening. At the same time, we need to also find ways of being able to network through this virtual world. Because, you know, as I said, the purpose of these events was not just about, you know, understanding the new technologies, but it was also about networking. And we can't just take away that aspect from the whole experience. Yeah. So, of course, till the time we are able to travel, we will have to find innovative ways of, you know, ensuring that we are still able to network effectively, and we are still able to, you know, interact with the people we want while we are attending some of these virtual conferences. Yeah.
Definitely, Gaganji, and I think we at Reed Exhibitions believe that physical exhibitions have always been a platform to showcase the latest trends, the latest technologies, and I'm sure as things open up now, we would have an opportunity around the corner to have a leading show back in the industry. Before we let you go, Gaganji, I think I would rather ask you a kind of a secret or a mantra that you would want to share with the industry, something that you might feel works in the times that we are in, or something really futuristic.
See, I think, you know, the industry has to find a way of, you know, interacting very strongly with the, you know, with the partners. We need to still have a very strong association with the brand owners. So the industry needs to interact very strongly with the brand owners to understand what the brands are looking for. And then they need to be able to deliver that, you know, in the shortest possible time. So they need to still do the right things. They need to innovate very strongly. They need to have a focus on sustainability. They need to evolve new ways of working with the brand owners. They need to become even closer to the brand owners. They need to really understand what the, you know, consumer wants. Because at the end of the day, as I keep on saying, consumer is at the heart of whatever we do. So they need to have a much stronger association with the consumer, understand the brand strategy, become an integral part of executing that brand strategy. So it's all about ensuring that you are an integral part of the, you know, whole process. You need to understand the needs of the consumer and also the needs of the environment, and just adapt and do the right things that you believe are going to make a fundamental difference. I think, you know, whether it is these times or previous times, you just need to be able to do the right things which you believe are going to make a big difference to the brands and to the consumer. Yeah, at the end of the day.
Thank you so much. I can definitely see the consumer being the king, and innovation and sustainability are the keywords the brands are kind of focusing today. So thank you so much again for your time today, Gagandeep ji, and we hope that the Packaging Live video viewers are excited to hear you in the near future. And we wish you the safest of times and a wonderful, successful career. And thank you so much for joining us today.